Dear boys, welcome to my online class. I hope you all are well at your respective houses during this corona pandemic. Boys, we are passing too much crisis time. In this time, it is essential to protect yourself. So don't go outside, stay at home, and always maintain social distance for your safety. I am Pradipta Kumar, Assistant Professor of Biology, Reproduction College. My today's lesson is for class 9, chapter 11, and name of the chapter is Reproduction in Organism. My today's topic is reproduction. Animal reproduction. At the end of this class, you will be able to explain the types of reproduction, explain the external and internal fertilization, explain the steps of human reproduction, explain the role of hormones in reproduction, explain the development of embryos. Reproduction two types. One is asexual, another is sexual. Asexual means offspring are produced by a single parent, no sperm and egg needed. But in sexual reproduction involves the fusion of two cells, one from a male that is called sperm and another from a female that is called ovum. So both are needed in sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction happens in lower animals. Asexual reproduction occurs in different ways such as budding, binary fission. So budding, binary fission is another process of asexual reproduction. Look, this figure, this is Hydra, and Hydra can increase the number by two process, budding and binary fission. This is binary fission. At first, bud produce their membrane, then this bud is increased. After then this is a new Hydra. After that, the growth of a bud, then they release or separate from their body. This is new Hydra. So by this process, the Hydra is produced, and this is binary fission. Look, this is also Hydra. At first, divided their body by two parts, and these two parts again produce two new Hydra. This is called binary fission. And sexual reproduction means the process through which two animals of opposite sex, male and female, have needed by this reproduction, compete their reproduction by means of producing male and female gametes. So male and female gametes must be needed by this process, and fertilize and produce offspring is called sexual reproduction. So look, this is sperm, and this is this gamete is come from male, and this is ovum, and it come from female. So these two gamete must be needed by this process, but only one sperm fertilize the eggs. When the sperm and ovum meet and form a zygote, then they can produce another offspring. So the sexual reproduction must be needed male and female gamete, sperm and ovum. But in asexual reproduction, there is no needed sperm and ovum. Now there are some difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, one parent needed. Only you have already seen only Hydra is needed in this case, and then sexual reproduction, two parents needed. Male and female must be needed. No gametes required. There is no gamete in this case, but gametes are required. Sperm and ovum must be needed. Offspring are genetically identical. By this process, the offspring is produced from their body cell, and offspring are not genetically identical. Only one individual is needed to colonize a new area by asexual reproduction, but in sexual reproduction, a male and a female are must needed. Asexual reproduction, it is a fast process but in sexual reproduction it is slow process. I mean, there is much time needed in this case. Always increases the population, but does not always increase the population in sexual reproduction. Very common among plants and simple animals in asexual reproduction, but in sexual reproduction almost all animals and plants. There are some advantages in asexual and sexual reproduction. And as in asexual reproduction, a good characteristic shown up in all the offspring. In sexual reproduction, new varieties are produced. So there are some new varieties are produced by sexual reproduction, which may be more able to adapt to the new environment. But there are some disadvantages asexual and sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, a defect in the parent shown up in all offspring. No variation occurs. I mean, there is no variety is produced in asexual reproduction, but in sexual reproduction, there is a new variety is produced. But disadvantages of sexual reproduction. Excellent individual cannot be given identical offspring. So excellent individuals cannot give identical offspring. So that you do not give excellent identical offspring. You do not get excellent identical offspring by sexual reproduction. Fertilization during sexual reproduction, the haploid gametes of the male and female individuals of a species combine in a process called fertilization. I mean, when male and female gamete made together and form one nucleus, that is called fertilization. And this is sperm. This bears in n number chromosome, and this is ovum nucleus. It also bear in n number chromosome. When these two meet together, look, this n and n meet together and form 2n number chromosome, and that is called zygote, and this process is called fertilization. Typically, the small motile male sperm fertilize the much larger sessile female egg. So here male gamete, I mean sperm is motile. They can swim, they can move from one place to another. But this is the ovum is sessile. They cannot move. This process produces a diploid fertilized egg called a zygote. So this is the number of chromosomes is called diploid. I mean 2n. Fertilization is necessary for sexual reproduction. So in sexual reproduction, it is must needed. Fertilization two types. One is called external fertilization and one is called internal fertilization. External fertilization means if the fertilization takes place outside the body of male and female animals, generally in water, is known as external fertilization. I mean external fertilization occurs outside of the body, and it is mainly occurred in water. Example in fishes, but exceptions are there such as sharks and different fishes. So sharks, but most of the fishes are external fertilization, but in sharks they have in internal fertilization. Look, this is external fertilization. At first, female lay eggs in water. After that, male spread their sperm on eggs. For that reason, the eggs are fertilized. Internal fertilization. The fertilization which takes place inside the reproductive organ of the female is called internal fertilization. So this is external fertilization. Fish and amphibians are external fertilization, but internal fertilization occurs in reptiles, birds, and mammals. So it is the image of internal fertilization. So internal fertilization occurs inside of the female body. Significance of fertilization. Restoration of diploid chromosomes within the embryo accumulates hereditary characters of both male and female, makes the ovum active for its development. Chromosomes carry the characteristics of both father and mother. These characteristics combined determine the sex of the embryo. For the continuity and restoration of hereditary reproduction is essential. This process includes formation of embryo and gives birth to offspring. Man is unisexual, so that male and female reproductive organs are present in different individuals. So fertilization is important. If there is no fertilization, then we cannot born with the species cannot uh, increase their number. So it is very important. Look, this ovum and sperm, then zygote form, and after that, from this zygote, a new baby is born. So the continuity of species, the fertilization is needed. So by this process, the number of species has has increased in our world. If there is no fertilization, then the species will be decreased, will be destroyed. So it is much needed. Role of hormones in human reproduction. Hormones secreted from ductless gland. It acts as a chemical messenger and transported all over the body through the blood. The growth stimulating hormone secretes from pituitary gland. So, from pituitary gland, we get growth stimulating hormone. These hormones regulate growth of reproductive glands, secretion and functions, and controls mammary gland and milk secretion. Puberty is a period of several years in which rapid physical growth and psychological changes occur, culminating in sexual maturity. The average onset of puberty is age 11 to 12 for boys. So puberty is uh, starting from the age of 11 to 12 in boys. Some of the most significant parts of pubertal development involve distinct physiological changes in individual height, weight, body composition, and circulatory and respiratory system. These changes are largely influenced by hormonal activity. Hormonal activity. So, the physical changes or puberty changes occurred by hormonal activities. Hormones play an organizational role, priming the body to behave in a certain way once puberty begins, and an activation role, referring to change in hormones during adolescence that trigger behavioral and physical changes. In response, the pituitary gland releases follicle stimulating hormone, that is called FSH, and luteinizing hormone LH into the male system for the first time. FSH enters the testes, stimulating the Sertoli cells, which helps to nourish the sperm cells that the testes produce to begin facilitating spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis means the production of sperm is called spermatogenesis. LH also enters the testes, stimulating the interstitial cell called Leydig cells to make and release testosterone into the testes and the blood. Uh, testosterone is produced by the stimulating of LH luteinizing hormone. So called Leydig cell to make the Leydig cell also helps the release testosterone. Testosterone is one kind of hormone which released from the testes of male reproductive organs. The menstrual cycle is a recurring process which takes around 28 days. So menstrual cycle is occurred in female body, I mean girls, and its time is 28 days interval. During the process, the lining of the uterus is prepared for pregnancy, and it is occurred for the preparation of pregnancy. If implantation of the fertilized egg into the uterus lining does not happen, the lining is then shed. This is known as menstruation. Several hormones control the cycle. For example, they are involved in controlling the release of an egg each month from an ovary and changing the thickness of the uterus lining. So, menstruation cycle occurs for the releasing of egg. Every month, one uh, egg is released from ovary, and that is actually and that is occurred and for menstruation. Development of embryo. The process of animal development begins with the cleavage or series of mitotic cell division of the zygote. Actually, the when a zygote is formed, I mean the formation of male and female nucleus, this cell is called zygote, and after that the zygote is divided into various small cells, and this small cell is called cleavage. I mean the division of zygote, continuous division of zygote is called cleavage. Three cell divisions transform the single cell zygote into an 8-cell structure. So at first, one zygote is divided and make a 8-cell structure. After further cell division and rearrangement of existing cells, a 6 to 32 cell hollow structure called a blastula is formed. When a zygote is continuously divided and make a ball-like structure, that is called blastula, and there is a hollow space in blastula that is called blastocele. Next, the blastula undergoes further cell division and cellular rearrangement during a process called gastrulation. When the blastoderm cell rearranges and make a 2 or 3 layers, that process is called gastrulation. This leads to the formation of the next development stage, the gastrula, in which the future digestive cavity is formed. Different cell layers are formed during gastrulation, and these 2 or 3 layers is called germ layers. And from these germ layers, our digestive system, skin or integumentary system, or blood circulation system, or different systems are produced from these 2 or 3 layers. We are mammals, I mean chordate animals, so we have 3 germ layers. So from these 3 germ layers, our different organs are produced. This is called this is called embryogenesis. These germ layers are programmed to develop into certain tissue types, organs, and organ systems during a process called organogenesis. But look at this picture. This is zygote. When the zygote continues division and make a 8-cell, that is called cleavage, and this 8-cell continuous division then uh, 16 cell, then 32 cell, and make a ball-like structure that is called blastulation and or blastula. And this blastula again form 2 or 3 layer look, and this is called gastrulation process or gastrula. uh, okay guys, have any questions? If you have any questions, then ask me through SMS. Okay guys, now your sample questions. First question: in which animal internal fertilization occurs? Rui, shark, mrigel, tilapia. The correct answer is B, shark. Number 2, how many types of fertilization are there? 2, 3, 4, 5. The correct answer is A, I mean 2. Number 3, external fertilization occurs outside the animal body, inside the animal body, in different fishes. Which one is correct? 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is 1 and 3. That means B. Number 4, pituitary secreted hormones regulate growth of reproductive glands, controls milk secretion, produces sperm. Which one is correct? 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is 1 and 2, I mean A. 5. Which one is the right sequence for the development of the human embryo? Morula, zygote, gastrula, blastocyst. Number B, zygote, morula, gastrula, blastocyst. Number C, morula, zygote, blastocyst, gastrula. Number D, zygote, morula, blastocyst, gastrula. The correct answer is C, morula, zygote, blastocyst, gastrula. Okay, now your homework. First question: what is implantation? Implantation means when zygote is attached with uterus, that is called implantation. Number B, what do you mean by organogenesis? Number C, how P cell is produced in female body, explain it. Number D, uterus is very important in the process of P to Q. Analyze this statement. This is your homework. Okay boys, I want to say again, don't go outside, stay at home, save your life. Thank you boys, and see you in my next class.